Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the FEG PC Truck Series. Today, we're at the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway as we get ready to wrap up the season here at Segment 3. As always, thank you so much to our friends from across the country tuning in, supporting your favorite drivers, your favorite broadcaster, and your favorite league. My name is James East, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second on behalf of the Team Goon Squad Broadcasting Network. Right now, we're getting ready to send our drivers out for single car qualifying. Gonna be an interesting night. Now, this is the second to final race, as we're gonna be having the championship decided in the next coming 2 weeks at Phoenix Raceway. So let's see what the action's gonna bring here at the Cookie Cutter 1.5 miler as we get ready to send our drivers out onto the course for their opening laps here at Charlotte. Michael J. Johnson making his way out in the number 39 Toyota Tundra. Let's see what all our drivers are going to be able to do here today. Now, last week, it was Cody McCauley winning at Martinsville. For the Martinsville 100, and the week prior to that, it was Travis Butt in the Kansas 100 picking up some wins. So we've had a bunch of different winners here throughout the season. Going to be interesting to see what happens here at the Charlotte 100 and who's going to be able to put on the top spot, score some much-needed points going into late in the season. As we pull up the qualifying board on the left side of your screen. Now, current points still fairly tight. It's Cody McCauley out in front, and he is just 12 points ahead of Michael J. Johnson, who's currently on screen. McCauley's got 3 wins so far this season. Johnson has 1 win, so he's trying to tighten up that points gap late into the run and see if he's got something for McCauley as the season progresses. As always, thank you to our fans from across the world hopping in, tuning in, and supporting the broadcast. As tonight we are simulcast on both YouTube and on Twitch. We've got Hassan in it, 110, just Haas for short, 606 E Motorsports tune in, Joseph Penn joining in. A lot of the usual names and faces we have the pleasure of seeing every week here at the Team Goon Squad Broadcast Network. Johnson puts it on provisional pole early on with a 30.26. And he will make his way in, so not a bad night. He's ahead of Jeremy Kors. Let's see who else is going out. Has McCauley come back out? Yes, he has with a 30.26, so good to see him out on track. Roger Hale, I believe a newcomer in the 4 machine, making his way out, I think, for the first time this season. Let's see what Hale in that number 4 can do. You've also got Matt Lee in the 04 machine out on track and ready to set his opening laps. Johnson still holding on to pole with a 30.42. And look how tight qualifying is. So many drivers clicking off almost identical lap times out here. Now, I'm not sure why it shows a 30.42 out of Johnson, as on live time it shows a series of 30.26s. From Johnson, McCauley, Bale. Keenan puts his way to the number 17 machine up into 4th. Jay Dargett, the fan favorite, out on track. Let's see what Hale can do on his opening lap here. Hale coming out strong. His opening lap, good enough for 14th. We're going to pan to Jay Dargett, the number 57 machine, running that newer paint scheme so far this season. Let's see if we can get live timing and scoring to update for everybody at home. As on my end, it shows 30.26s and not the 30.42s that you currently see on your screen. So not sure what maybe is amiss there. Let's see if we can get it to update for you. There we go. Now we're rocking. We've got Bim Bim tuning in, saying is Elliot Henderson in this one. I don't believe so. I think Henderson may be in another league that we broadcast. Dean Jones tuning in, saying let's go number 27, Tyler Millette. Johnson still holding on to pole, though, with that 30.26, just narrowly beating out both Cody McCauley and Tristan Bailey. Darger's fastest lap is going to be a 30.34. That'll be good enough for 8th here today. Let's see who else has not gone out. Kenneth McCullough Jr. clicks off a 30.45, good enough for 14th. A handful of drivers have not qualified yet. John Mullahan, Jeffrey Radke, Joe Burgess, Robert Neller, Eric Parks, Adam Schoen, and Austin Reedy's making his way out, but he's going to miss qualifying. So we'll have about 7 drivers that did not make it out. But let's go ahead and run it through tonight's grid and see where your favorite driver is going to be starting at here at Charlotte. Starting on pole, Michael Johnson in the 39 machine. Cody McCauley in the 62 starting second. Tristan Bailey third on our grid. Matt Lee starting fourth. Cale Seaman starting fifth. Stephen Page starting sixth. John Olette, 7th on the grid. Jay Dargett, the fan favorite, starting 8th. Jeremy Corr starting 9th. Donald Ray starting 10th. Brandon Barber starting 11th. We've got Chad Ross starting 12th here today. James Kaufman starting 13th. Kenneth McCullough Jr. starting 14th. Buddy Pitts starting 15th. Tyler Millette with the support from the crowd. He'll be starting 16th in the number 27 machine. Martin starting 17th. Roger Hale starting 18th. Keaton Roach starting 19th. Jose Medina starting 20th. Joe Winnesdorfer starting 21st. Eric Park starting 22nd. And then we've got Austin Reedy starting 23rd. Jeffrey Radke starting 24th. Cycle it back one last time to John Mullahan starting 25th. Adam Schoen starting 26th. Joe Burgess starting 27th on the grid. And then Robert Neller will round out the 28 truck field here today at Charlotte. Let's get ready to get this party started as we're getting all the drivers out onto the grid, and then we will get things rocking and rolling here. Again, for the very first time that we've simultaneously cast the FEG PC Truck Series, both on YouTube as well as our Twitch platform. And as always, thank you to our fans, friends, and family from across the world tuning in, supporting us. We couldn't do it without you guys. And frankly, it makes it a lot more exciting for both racers and broadcaster alike to see all the fans coming out in force. As all of our racers go back and watch these broadcasts after the event has closed, the lights have gone off at the track, and they absolutely notice who's out here cheering for them each and every week. Not a bad grid here today. It looks like 26 drivers making their way out on course. Joe Burgess and Robert Neller did not take the grid in time. And we're going to get ready to send them out 100 laps here at Charlotte. 150 miles. Nice, cool track temps and a lot of opportunity for some fantastic racing out here today. Who's it going to be, though? Is Michael J. Johnson, currently second in points, going to be able to get the edge out over Cody McCauley? Or is McCauley going to be able to pick up another win? But you also got to keep an eye on Matt Lee in the 04 machine, another driver who's very used to running out front here at the FEG PC Truck Series. As the season has progressed, the racing just keeps getting better and better amongst our drivers. And I'm curious to see what's going to happen here today. Green flag flies for the first time here tonight. We're going to send them out and get things started. And already things are going to get rowdy for the guys as they go charging in through the corners. Johnson gets a lead, but he's got to keep an eye out. Here comes Tristan Bailey, number 24 machine. Matt Lee in the 04, all charging through the field here. Everybody pushing very hard, very early. Matt Lee trying to make something happen in the 04 machines. He goes side by side with McCauley through the tri-oval. Johnson still out front. Bailey in second on the inside line. McCauley on the outside line next to Lee, trying to work their way up. Now these guys will have about 15 laps of hard pushing and aggression to make something happen before the tire wear starts to fall off on these machines. But all these drivers inside the top 5, Johnson, Bailey, McCauley, Lee, Page, very familiar for long run speeds. And if we do get that long run, they will show what it takes to keep the tires underneath them for the duration of the event and avoid having any big problems. As they are out there absolutely flying early on here today. As look at this, here comes Stephen Page trying to make something happen. No, the number 1 machine. He's getting a little bit closer to Siemens number 17 Toyota Tundra to try and work his way inside the top 5, but things are a little bit hectic in front of him as it looks like the top 5 may be starting to go single file early on here today. As you go on board with Page, he's behind Siemens number 17 machine, charging down the back stretch here at Charlotte. And up front, a battle for the lead, Tristan Bailey. Michael Johnson goes side by side. McCauley also going to the inside line right behind Bailey to see if he can edge out Johnson. And now it'll be Bailey, McCauley, Johnson, your top 3. As Johnson down 2 spots early on, Bailey up 2 spots. And already it looks like there could be lap traffic to contend with. I believe that may be Joe Burgess, number 30 machine, who was a late entry in that number 30 Ford F-150. Trying to come out and get some laps turned and get some points going. Interesting to see. Oh, somebody has a blink up front. Not quite sure who that was. That could have been Johnson, who seems to back off the pace. And now he's going to have Matt Lee all over his rear bumper. Go a little bit further back. I think that is Darger we see him going side by side. It is with, I believe, number 81, John Olette. You've also got Jeremy Kors, number 97 machine. He's in the mix. So it looks like drivers may be a little bit more patient tonight than we've seen in the past. We very quickly went to single file formation, and we may see our drivers just try and get through a fuel run here today. It's going to be interesting to see how that works out, as that was Kors almost tagging the outside quarter panel of John Olette's number 81 Chevrolet. Stephen Page in the number 1 machine, he's trying to get around Seaman. All these drivers have plenty of grip left to make something happen, but nobody wants to push too hard too early on. Now they do have 1 fast repair available, but that is your only get out of jail free card for the evening. As we've got more racing going on in that battle for the 10th place spot. Chad Ross has gotten around Donald Ray's number 5 machine and worked his way inside the top 10. A lot of great racing to be had, and a battle for the lead is underway. Here comes Cody McCauley working the outside line in the side draft against Bailey. But we're going to have a caution come out and throw a wrench in the plans. It looks like Austin Reedy could have been involved in that one. And that will bring out our very first caution of the night, 10 laps in. Oh, not quite sure what happened there, but it definitely didn't look good. Let's see if we can get another look at that one from Austin Reedy's point of view. Not sure if Reedy hooked in front of the other driver, but then just gets absolutely demolished across the start-finish line. Properly punted. we're going to try and get one more angle of that for our fans at home. Try to see just what happened there as we slow it down a little bit on our FEG PC instant replay. Oh yeah, somebody came violently down and just cleaned out Reedy. And the number 24 machine, nowhere to go, just phases through Austin Reedy at a Mach 9. So with that first caution, we're going to go ahead and get a quick commercial break out of the way. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more door-to-door action here at the FEG PC Truck Series. And we are back as our top 10 drivers opt to stay out. Our top 9 drivers opt to stay out, valuing that track position more than fresh Goodyears and a little bit of tires. Decide to stay out. But again, thank you to our title sponsor here tonight, FEGPC.net. If you're looking for a custom desktop solution with the sim enthusiast in mind, or really any high-intensity program, they can help you out, be it iRacing, Microsoft Flight Sim, or any other high need. Heck, you could be an iRacing broadcaster and need the best of the best. Check them out, FEGPC.net, leading provider for the sim racing enthusiast, as well as providing these guys a place to race every Monday night. Check them out, FEGPC.net. Up front, it's still Tristan Bailey, Cody McCauley on the front row, Seaman and Olette your second row, Pitts and Ray on your third row. We've got viewers coming in from Paintsville, Kentucky. That's Sheila Millette. She's cheering on Tyler Millette, pilot of the number 27 machine. Millette currently 27th out on track. He's down 2 spots from where he started, but he did pit on lap 11. Looks like he may have just taken fuel. I don't see many drivers that took 4 tires on that stop. Going to be interesting to see how strategy plays out at Charlotte here today as the pace car comes in. The pace truck comes in, I should say. And here we go once more as we go green at Charlotte. Our flagman put in overtime with the massive launch from Tristan Bailey. Meanwhile, Cody McCauley, John Olette, Cale Seaman battling hard for that second place spot. You've also got Donald Ray. He's made his way up with the number 5 machine. He's up 5 spots. Current hard charger on track is Adam Schoen in the 65. He is up 19 positions, working that Ford F-150 in a 7th early on into tonight. Now this is where things get exciting. Cautions breed cautions. You have some drivers that will be coming out with 4 fresh Goodyears compared to the rest of the field who's on their original set of tires. I'm looking forward to see if we get that green flag run here today. As Tristan Bailey stretches his legs, he's about 4 tenths ahead of Cody McCauley in second. McCauley just holding on 2/10 ahead of John Olette, number 81 machine. Now Olette up 4 spots early on the Chevrolet, as right now it is Chevy, Toyota, Chevy in the top 3. You have to go back to 8th place, our current fastest Ford. That's driven by Adam Schoen. That's great racing all across the track. Let's take a look on Schoen, the 65 machine, who is right in the middle here of the Hornet's Nest. He's trying to chase down Matt Lee. Buddy Pitts running almost identical together. Pitts in the Chick-fil-A back truck. Lee in his trademarked black and green 04 machines. So looks like Lee's working that side draft hard, trying to find a way around Pitts here. As Johnson, number 39 machine, having a rough go. Now he is down 8 spots, but he did stop on lap 11 for what appears to maybe be just a fuel stop. He was only in his pit stall for 6.6 seconds. So he's going to try, maybe plan on a green flag run to outlast some of the other drivers on fuel here today. As Matt Lee is charging through the field. Lee, another driver that came in on lap 11. He's worked his way back up to 6th. And now he will put the pressure on Donald Ray's number 5 machine, looking at the inside line, going into turns. The next corner here makes it stick, and then Ray will follow along the 04 machine, who's worked his way inside the top 5. Now, it almost looked like Ray was going to take another shot at Lee, thinks better of it, and decides to maybe follow a fast driver. Let us know across the multiple platforms, be it YouTube, be it on Twitch. Let us know who you're rooting for. And we will make sure we get your driver on TV for you. Trying to get these guys as much TV time as they can to represent both themselves as well as their sponsors. As it has been a fantastic season watching all the racing with these guys, watching how much faster and cleaner the drivers have got as this season's progressed. Johnson now working on Buddy Pitts. As Pitts goes the outside line, Johnson slides up the inside line. Roger Hale, number 4 machine, we were talking about him early on in qualifying. He's worked his way up 8 spots into 10th. And now we may have a heated battle going on for 3rd place here shortly. John Olette has Matt Lee and Cale Seaman in his rearview mirror. And we're about to have a 3-car battle for that 3rd place spot. We had one driver going off track. I believe that was Pitts, able to hold on to it, thankfully. And almost gets on that back bumper of Johnson. Not sure if those drivers may have gotten together or what the issue may have been. As we pan the camera back to the battle for 3rd, it's going to be Olette, Lee, Seaman all in the mix here. Adam Schoen also in striking distance. But Olette and Lee know if they battle too hard, that 1.4 second gap that Cody McCauley has in 2nd place will only grow as Lee slides on the inside line, going through the tri-oval into 1, makes it stick nice and clean. And Lee is back into podium contention here at Charlotte. Right now, it looks like McCauley and Bailey have all but checked out as we pan the camera back to your race leaders. Bailey, number 24 machine, McCauley into 62. They are 1.8 seconds ahead of 3rd place Matt Lee, and they're going to work hard together. Now, Lee does have Olette and Seaman in that tow as well, so in theory, that 3-truck train should be able to catch up. Say that 3 times fast, ladies and gentlemen. They should be able to catch up to the drivers out front. But we're seeing a lot of positions getting swapped around on the leaderboard here, so I'm wondering if we've got a little bit of heartbreak in the back. I think we do, as Jay Dargan shows us off track. Roger Hale involved in a crash. Does the caution come out? What is going on back there? Roger Hale has fallen back down to 26. He must have had a problem in the apron, and the caution has not come out. Let's take a quick look and see what happened to him. Oh, there was absolute carnage back here. bumping and grinding. How on earth did the caution not come out? Hale, an innocent victim, he gets smacked around by Darter, but since he was off the racing surface, the caution did not fly out here at Charlotte. He's going to come down pit road, try and get some repairs done as the race leaders make their way by. Bailey and McCauley still linked up, nose to tail. Now about 2 seconds ahead of Lee, Olette, and Schoen, with no sign of slowing down as we are at the quarter-way mark here at tonight's main event. Hale makes his way down to pit road after that wild incident at the start-finish line. As McCauley takes a peek but thinks better of it. Meanwhile, cycle it back. That is Matt Lee leading this train of cars for third. But the gap is pretty far between Lee, Olette, Schoen, and Seaman, all about a half second apart from each other. So Lee will not have the draft support that he wants, and that's going to allow Bailey and McCauley to keep pulling away unless Lee can find some support here at the quarter-way mark and try and get the rest of the drivers to link up with him. Cycle it back to 14th, a heated battle between John Mullahan and Jeffrey Radke, as well as Tyler Millette getting a whole lot of love from across the world. Millette running 15th on the track, trying to work his way into a top 10 finish. Now all of these drivers came in on lap 11 for what we believe was either a 2-tire stop or only a fuel tire stop. Not many drivers on this window. Looks like they took 4 fresh Goodyears. So for the most part, everybody out on track running a very similar strategy. Roger Hale leaves his pits after 44 seconds in the box, trying to hammer out that machine, get it pointing in the right direction so he doesn't have too much aero damage for the remainder of the night. As you were watching the battle for 13th on screen, other notable battles, Buddy Pitts getting chased by Chad Ross, and 38 machine Pitts in the 26. Ross in the black and blue, number 38 machine. Ross on the outside line. It looks like he's going to have the momentum here to make it stick nice and clean. Ross does, no problems there. As now Ross is going to try and catch up to Coors in the number 97 Ford F-150. Jose Medina, he makes a pass on Stephen Page for that 18th spot. And that's probably one of the best parts about running here Monday nights for the FEG PC Truck Series. Always great action all across the track. Doesn't matter if you're battling for a top 3 or maybe 4th, 15th. There's great racing as now we watch Johnson in the 39, Seaman in the 17 machine battling for that 6th place spot, going back and forth several times. Now Johnson just wants to try and finish ahead of McCauley some way, somehow, to squeeze some points away from their 62 machine coming up to the final championship rounds here at segment 3. As we've only got a couple of short rounds left, we'll have a brief pause for a very small winter break. And then from my understanding, we'll be running a super speedway, kind of an intermission league throughout the holiday season. So that's going to be a whole lot of fun for both myself and the drivers. John Olette and Adam Schoen are battling hard for the 4th place spot. Schoen up 21 with a 2, ladies and gentlemen. 2-1 positions here tonight. Now running 5th on track. As these two drivers are about 1.2 seconds back from Matt Lee. Lee kind of in no man's land. He's about 2.4 seconds back from your race leaders, Bailey and McCauley. And I don't think he's going to get support from Olette or Schoen anytime soon as these two drivers continue going side by side. It'll be interesting to see if Johnson in the 39 machine will be able to capitalize on that massive hole in the air that these two drivers are punching through and whittle away at that 1.4 second disadvantage that he currently has. Martin makes his way down pit road for what appears to be one of the first green flag stops of the night. Pitts makes his way down pit road as now Ray and Ross, looks like they're going to race. Ross picks up 10th spot, up 2 spots from where he started. As you're on board with Donald Ray, number 5 machine, he's now running 11th on track. And watching Ross, who may be peeling away here. I wonder if Ross took 2 tires. He was in his pit stall for 6.5 seconds in that black and blue 38. As now we're getting the party started, John Olette, Adam Schoen, Cale Seaman initiate the first stops of the night. Having to come in, and right as they do, a caution comes out. That may put these drivers a lap down in the worst possible timing. Where was the caution from? As Olette does a drive-through, not wanting to get caught a lap down. I almost wonder if there was a problem coming into pit lane. We got the pit lane camera pulled up, looking for some sort of incident here. Live time and scoring didn't show any off tracks, any big incidents. No, everything looks fine on pit road, so not quite sure what happened to our drivers. But sometimes iRacing does funny iRacing things. It can throw a premature caution, which could be the case we just saw, or it could just violently miss something like we saw early on with Roger Hale getting punted to the inside line. And that will bring out the second caution of the night. As I believe the entirety of the field is going to come in here. First through about 20th place, all coming down pit road. Going to be interesting to see how this breaks down, as again, some drivers were diving into the pit road right as that caution came out. And let's see if it's going to be Johnson, one of the first drivers out, or who it may be. It looks like the number 5 machine gets a very great pit stop. I wonder if he was already in his pit stall. Yes, that's Donald Ray. So right now, live timing shows Matt Lee as your race leader. No, it's going to be Adam Schoen who opted to stay out. He came in on lap 34. As now the entirety of the field taking 4 fresh Goodyears, a full tank of gas. And Adam Schoen, your race leader, is up 25 spots in the Ford F-150. Well, looks like we're going to have about 18, 19 drivers on the lead lap. John Olette, Jay Dargert, Eric Parks still in pit road with an extended stay. Joe Burgess, Roger Hale, Austin Reedy also in their pit stalls for over 2 minutes, trying to get things hammered back and get back out there to race with their friends. Nobody wants to get sent home early here at the FEG PC Truck Series. So let's see what Adam Schoen can do up front here today. He's got a lot of fast guys behind him, as I believe everybody is on the same strategy here today. Or at least for this stop, I should say more aptly. Now Schoen, this is his 9th race of the season. Started back with us on September 13th. He's ran a limited schedule. His career best so far is a 4th at Las Vegas. We had to take it all the way back to October 4th for that one. As last week in Martinsville, he had a very rough race. Started 8th, finished 7th with 16 incident points after a very rough night for everybody. Let's see what's going to happen as we grid them up 2 wide. And still about, it's got about 10 rows deep. It looks like we'll have about 18, 19 drivers on the lead lap. Kenneth McCullough Jr. getting back out there as well in the 03 machine. On the front row, it's going to be Lee and Schoen ready to do battle here in Charlotte. Who's it gonna be as we're waiting for that pace truck to make its way down, and we're gonna send them back out once more. It'll be Lee on the inside, Schoen on the outside line. You've also got Johnson and Bailey in the mix as well. And here we go once more. Schoen gets a great launch. But keep an eye on Tristan Bailey, the number 24 machine, as he has been very fast here today, as he's side by side with Johnson. McCauley also in tow. Lee trying to work the side draft on your race leader, Schoen diving down the inside line on the backstretch as Bailey goes high. Everybody's swapping around trying to find the line as we look like we're going to go 3 wide. Yes, we are early on at Charlotte. It's McCauley, Schoen, and Michael J. Johnson all side by side there. Looks like Johnson bails out to live to fight another day. And he's going to let the guys in front of him, as now you've got McCauley and Schoen side by side. Lee, your race leader. These guys are battling very, very hard, very early on. Now Lee is 4th in points. He is about 57 points back from your current points leader, Cody McCauley, and only about 17 points back from Tristan Bailey. So all these guys in your top 5 are in the points contention here today. But we will have another caution to throw off the rhythm of our drivers, as it's going to be a rough one for several drivers. We see Kenneth McCullough Jr. and James Kaufman both involved in that one. Let's take a look and see what may have happened. Oh, the violence. Was that Kaufman that originally caused that one? Or not caused that one, but was in that one? We're going to look at Kaufman's point of view. Looks like maybe bounced off the outside wall. Yes, that was the case. Gets pogoed across the track. McCullough tries to check up and just lightly gets on that quarter panel, leans on it a little much, and they both take fantastic hits. Kaufman up on 2 wheels, careening across the racetrack. Both Kaufman and McCullough will take tows back to pit road to try and get those machines hammered back. That will be our 3rd caution of the night, as we have 16 drivers on the lead lap still. Losing a lot of good drivers early on. Now again, they do have one fast repair, that one get out of jail free card. But the problem with that is if you have to use it early on, you know, lap 10, 15, 20, we're not even to the halfway mark. So still plenty of time to find yourself involved in your own or somebody else's misfortune. And arguably the worst part is losing that track position. We usually have the bit of a meat grinder from about that 14th to 18th place spot is historically where we see all the carnage starting to come out. While our top 5, top 10 drivers are going to feel pretty safe here, you do not want to come back out mid-pack and have to work your way up all the way through the field once more. going to get ready to get them gridded back up, double file. As it appears now we are down to 17 drivers on the lead lap here at the Charlotte 100 for the FEG PC Truck Series. Again, thank you to our fans from across the world that are tuning in, giving shout outs to the drivers. I know they appreciate it when they watch these broadcasts. A lot of the guys will have it pulled up on a separate screen and listen in on the broadcast mid-race, so that way they can, know who's cheering for them, maybe hear what some other guys are doing as far as strategy, and maybe something safer to do rather than texting while driving while we're following around the pace car here at Charlotte. So it's going to be Lee and McCauley on the front row, Bailey and Johnson your second row, Schoen and Coors on your third row here today. Gotta say, extremely impressed with Schoen's performance, still up 21 positions in that number 65. That is a hard charger and a half. So we should be getting him gridded up, double file this time by. I believe we are, as McCauley wiggles his way to the outside line. Now everybody inside the top four in still championship contention here. So there is a lot on the line for all these drivers trying to bring home a championship season. We're going to make our way down the back stretch, back in formation. The pace truck will be making its way in this time by. And then we're going to get ready to go at almost the halfway mark of tonight's main event. Here we go once more. Lee gets a great launch. McCauley in tow. Bailey looks up the inside line. Will he make it stick in that battle for second as they go diving into turn one? Johnson gives his support to McCauley. Then you've got Jeremy Coors in the 97 machine. He's on the inside line as it looks like McCauley trying to get down low. Coors all the way on the inside line as well. Everybody really working that side draft here today. Coors and Johnson side by side. As Bailey, Johnson got a big blinking issue at the most inopportune time. So now it's Lee, Bailey, McCauley, Johnson, and Coors, your top five. Matt Lee's getting a bit of a chance to breathe here as Bailey leads the charge behind him. And behind Bailey, McCauley, Johnson, Coors battling hard for that final podium spot. Not even to the halfway mark of tonight's main event. Now, I wonder if Johnson's maybe nervous to push too hard here with the blinking issues he's been having out of that number 39 machine. As your race leader, Matt Lee, sets the fastest lap of the race with a 30.32. He's got the clean track in front of him. He doesn't have too much aero wash to worry about or dirty air, and he can get out there and just hot lap. And this is where Lee in the 04 Toyota Tundra is the absolute most lethal guy on track. If he gets in that rhythm and is allowed to extend that gap, Everyone else is in big trouble. Now Lee early on in the race wasn't able to catch back up in the draft, and he was rapidly losing time, so able to salvage a race just slightly. Back in P10, you've got Brandon Barber, John Ouellette going side by side. Right behind them, you've got Page and Medina, two longtime veterans here at the FEG Truck Series. Absolutely great racers and characters in their own rights. As Jeffrey Radke has problems, the number 51 machine goes careening into pit road. Or not quite pit road. I think he did make it all the way to pit road. He did. So Radke, let's see what happened to him. Oh, we've got something else going on. Page also involved in an incident. Let's take a look at what happened to Radke. Oh, just nowhere to go. Gets absolutely punted into pit road. I wonder if that may have been Page that got into him. And Radke takes a violent entrance into pit road. Let's see what happened to Stephen Page. Yes, I think that was Page that got into Radke. I wonder if he let all the magic smoke out of that number 1 machine. And oddly enough, that was enough to bring out the caution. But not Radke getting absolute punted. Interesting. Sheila Millette cheering for Tyler Millette, who is now inside the top 10, up 7 spots in that number 27 machine. And now for this caution at the halfway mark, it'll be Matt Lee up front. We're going to run our final commercial break of the night here at the halfway mark, and then we're going to take it the remaining 48 laps, maybe clean and green. Stick around. Let's see what Lee and Bailey are going to do on the front row here at Charlotte. Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona. The big one is out. And we are back, getting ready to grid them back up. Again, thank you to everybody that's checked out the website, joined the Team Goon Squad Discord, hang out with the drivers, talk to the broadcaster, and generally just have a good old time, as well as to those that support us on Patreon, helping the channel grow week in and week out. Couldn't do without you fans across the world. And again, makes our job a whole lot more fun, and the drivers really enjoy racing for big crowds. So thank you to the guys that shared the links coming up into the night's event. And I know we've got drivers with their families, friends, co-workers, all tuned in and supporting the guys. So really cool to see the grassroots racing effort really taking back off again, being in real life or virtual racing. It would not happen without good friends, good racers, and the people that support them. So thank you to all of you guys from across the world. It'll once again be Lee and Bailey on the front row. Kors and Ross, your second row. Schoen and Mullahan, your third row. As most of these drivers opting to stay out. Maybe doing a little bit of strategizing here on when the best time to come down pit road for possibly the final stop will be. As this is our fourth caution of the night. So let's see, it's been kind of a night of staccato short runs, getting about 10 to 12 laps of green flag racing per caution. But as the field starts to dwindle down ever so slightly, you may see the runs increase. We've got about 16 drivers on the lead lap, possibly 17 as Darger makes his way back out. Yes, he will remain on the lead lap just ever so slightly. And we get ready to make it happen all over again. We got Country Chick. She's cheering for Tyler Millette as well. The driver of the number 27 machine has worked his way up into 7th place here today. Current hard charger is still Adam Schoen in the 65, but you've also got John Mullahan in the number 25. He's up 19 positions compared to the 21 that Adam Schoen has gained early on. Truck will make its way in this time by. We've got 45 laps left to go. Let's see what Lee and Bailey are going to do on the front row. Lee gets a spectacular launch. Not sure what happened to Bailey there, as he's going to fall back to 3rd behind Jeremy Kors, who followed Lee up on the way to victory. I know what happened there. Lee and Kors, I'm fairly sure, are teammates, have planned the launch together, and that will put Bailey back down to 3rd. Ross is 4th. Adam Schoen 5th on track. As for the most part, your top 5, top 10 are going to be content going single file and maybe get some green flag laps going as you go on board with Tristan Bailey, number 24 machine. He's about 2 tenths back from Lee and Kors that are linked up nose to tail early on here. Now the 2 teammates running 1st and 2nd, nose to tail, that's going to be a dangerous combination for anybody else who gets up to those race leaders. As once you get 2 or 3 drivers working together, it's going to make it very tough for any of these single driver teams to make any big moves without forming instant alliances out on track. As we do have a heated battle for 7th, that's going to be John Mullahan, Michael Johnson, Tyler Millette. Look at this show going on. Side by side, 2 rows deep. Everybody trying to get their way through here. Millette on the inside line, as well as Molet in the 27. Are we going to go 3 wide here? Oh, we are. Tyler Millette all the way on the bottom. He gets around number 25 machine of John Mullahan. While the number 62 machine of Cody McCauley trying to push Millette just a little bit forward. Great racing all across the track. Everybody battling hard, knowing there's not a lot of laps remaining in this main event to make any big strides. Now your top 5 has not come in since lap 36 for the majority of these drivers. Going to be interesting to see how long they can stretch it out on tires in this run. As it looks like Tristan Bailey, number 24 machine, is going to battle the 2 teammates of Matt Lee and Jeremy Kors. Bailey working the inside line, trying to get through Kors. Kors going to keep him squeezed down the bottom, maybe try and burn up the tires of number 24 machine. But Bailey not having any of it, coming down the trial of the inside line of Kors, and here comes Chad Ross in the 38 machine as well. Ross is up 8 spots, currently in 4th. Here goes Bailey on the inside line, side by side. This is allowing Lee a chance to breathe, but he wants his teammate to stay glued to his rear bumper, as he will need the support later on in the night if this becomes a drag race to the finish. Drivers hitting trap speeds of upwards to 187 miles an hour here in Charlotte when they're working in the draft. As we're watching the pack start to get a little bit tighter here. Ross, Schoen, McCauley all starting to get in the picture in this single file formation. The less they're battling side by side, the more likely they are to catch up to your race leaders and have a better chance of a podium contention. But as soon as these guys from 4th place back start battling side by side for a 6th or 7th place spot, it slows down the pace and allows these race leaders that are working hard to extend their gap and stay out of trouble. Chad Ross, though, he's getting closer and closer to Bailey's back bumper. Less than a quarter of a second separates these two drivers. Austin Reedy leaves pit lane after, I believe, 40 minutes in his stall. That's an extremely long time. Derek Meek cheering on Tyler Millett, the number 27 machine, who's currently 8th on track. Now, if these drivers inside the top 10 can just stay single file, they will kind of shrink the field back together, tighten everything up. But the first driver that gets out of line and starts battling could possibly ruin it for a slew of other drivers. It'll be interesting to see how patience plays a role here in Charlotte. As Matt Lee is clicking off another lap led, Jeremy Corr 2nd, Tristan Bailey 3rd, Chad Ross 4th, and Adam Schoen rounds out our top 5. Still have about 22 drivers on the lead lap as we got Kevin Webb also cheering on Tyler Millett and number 27 machine. Millett is up 8 positions here so far tonight, having a great run in that Ford F-150, looking for another top 10 finish to try and pad those career stats he's had. As we go back to the heated battle for second, Jeremy Corrs, Tristan Bailey side by side down the backstretch. Bailey looking for the inside line, Corrs from the middle groove behind his teammate Matt Lee. Still side by side, going through 3, coming out of 4. Who's it going to be at the start-finish line? Will Bailey have the line, or is Corrs able to carry just a little bit more momentum? And that's allowing Chad Ross, Adam Schoen, and Cody McCauley to really catch up to this lead pack here as Bailey still working the inside line. Nice and tight against Jeremy Corrs. But you gotta wonder if we get that green flag run, is Bailey maybe using up a little bit more tires compared to Lee or Corrs? Doesn't matter for the time being as Bailey number 24 machine has taken over that 2nd place spot. As look at this, McCauley gets around Adam Schoen, picks up a 5th place spot, still down 3 spots from where he started early on. And now McCauley will go side by side with Chad Ross in the black and blue number 38 machine. So now we got to see Cody McCauley. Is he going to be the driver to charge up into podium contention with Chad Ross, Adam Schoen in tow? John Olette's about 1.7 seconds back from this battle for 4th. And now Adam Schoen picks up another spot once more from Chad Ross. Now Ross is on older tires. Adam Schoen. No, it's Cody McCauley. He came in a lap 52 with an 8-second pit stop, maybe just taking 2 tires here late in the race. But most importantly, taking a whole lot of fuel to allow him to stretch it out till the end and push when other drivers are having to save. So are we going to see Cody McCauley? Yes, battle with Jeremy Corrs in that 3rd place spot. McCauley goes the inside line, getting around the black and white number 97 of Jeremy Corrs. So McCauley making big moves here. McCauley is your current points leader. He is about 6 spots ahead of 2nd place in points, Michael Johnson. But McCauley wants to get back out front and put Matt Lee and Tristan Bailey behind that number 62 Toyota Tundra to extend his points lead on the entirety of the field here at Charlotte. Not many rounds left in the season to go to lock up that championship. It's still anybody's guess inside the top 5 who will be able to bring it home. As McCauley putting the pressure on Tristan Bailey. Bailey's about a half-second back from Matt Lee, but I think he's going to be more worried about what's in the rearview mirror at this time as opposed to what's out front, as McCauley has been making a massive amount of moves during this green flag run we've had here. He's going to want this thing to go green as long as possible, as he has the freshest set of tires out on track right now. McCauley pushing Bailey up towards the front, saying, let's get a little bit closer to Lee. Driver's going to start working together. No, a big upset. Bailey hard in the outside wall. I'm not sure if that was an unsettled bump draft or maybe just a bobble out of the number 24 machine, but McCauley will take over second place. Will he be the driver to track down Matt Lee, who currently has about a 4/10 advantage? Now Lee's last time in was on lap 36, where he took 4 fresh tires. McCauley came in on lap 52, where at most he took 2 tires and fuel. And now Matt Lee's also going to have lap driving to contend with. That is Pitts in the number 26 machine, just ahead of your race leader. Pitts trying to find a safe way to move over to avoid getting in Lee's way. He opts to take the high line through 1 and 2. That will allow Lee and McCauley through. Neither driver losing much time here. Lee's still holding on to that 4/10 advantage he has over McCauley. 26 laps left to go for our drivers. And McCauley comes down pit road. Adam Schoen, Chad Ross also coming in. So now it is Lee, Bailey, Kors, Johnson, and Medina, your top 5. Lee, Bailey, and Kors haven't come in since lap 36. Johnson, Medina, Seaman, Barber, Roach, they came in on lap 53. Not sure what the strategy is, as now Lee's going to come down pit road. Bailey opts to stay out. Jeremy Kors also comes in. Johnson, Medina, and Seaman stay out, as well as Brandon Barber and Keaton Roach. All these drivers came in around lap 52 to 53, except for Tristan Bailey, who he came in at lap 36. He's going to stretch out the fuel window here today. This is my favorite type of green flag racing. Wins and championships have been gained or lost on pit road, as now Bailey's going to come down. Johnson, Medina, they stay out. So it's Bailey, Seaman, Barber, and Roach being the last drivers that cycle through this green flag stop. Are we going to see this race won or lost on strategy? As right now, Johnson shows about 34 seconds ahead of McCauley. The average pit lane time, if you take 4 fresh Goodyears and a full tank of gas, is about that 42, 43 second mark. So if and when Johnson goes now, he'll come out about 7 or 8 seconds behind McCauley. But Johnson does have a lap on the majority of the field here. 3 drivers on the lead lap. Johnson and Medina. McCauley just gets his lap back from Johnson as well. So it looks like Johnson and Medina are going to stretch out that fuel run, maybe hope for a caution. No, Medina comes down pit road. Johnson stays out. In the 04 machine, he gets a lap back as well. Doesn't look like we see any speeding penalties on the live timing report. Everybody behaving nicely on pit road here today in Charlotte. Now How long is Johnson going to stretch it out for? He's still 29 seconds ahead of McCauley and Lee, but they're going to be flying through the field here with those 4 fresh Goodyears. 20 laps left to go. I would be shocked if Johnson can go 48 laps on a tank of gas to try and win this on strategy. But we've seen crazier things happen, and we do have a crash. Austin Reedy shows involved in an incident. No caution has come out yet as Chad Ross gets his lap back. And there's the late caution, where it'll be 5 drivers in the lead lap once the caution flies. Johnson, McCauley, Lee, Kors, and Ross on the lead lap. Adam Schoen may get the lucky dog here. Let's take a look and see what happened. Reedy hucking it across the track. That was a very, very odd crash. That poor number 11 machine looking absolutely hammered and still spinning around. I'm a little confused by this one. I'm not sure if Reedy was having that much problems, if the truck's that hammered, or maybe trying to bring out the caution. Let's back that camera angle up and see what happened to Reedy getting the outside wall. Oh, he was crashing for a while, it looks like. Tags the outside wall coming out of 4. Bangs it across the outside wall some more. Careens across the track. But just a very odd crash. Very uncharacteristic, I would say, to see somebody crash that long. So it's going to be interesting to see how this shakes things out for our drivers. As Johnson comes down pit road, I'm willing to guess here, McCauley, Lee, Kors will all opt to stay out. So Johnson will return back out on track in 5th place, and he will have 9-lap newer tires than McCauley, Lee, Kors, or Ross ahead of him. Tyler Millette having a good showing here today. He's currently 10th on track, up 6 spots. And keeping his nose relatively clean in that Ford. Going to be interesting to see how this final shootout pans out for all drivers involved. I'm expecting a bit of a Thunderdome here today at Charlotte. It should be about 15 laps left to go. And cautions breed cautions, so now I think the big driver to keep an eye out on is Michael Johnson in that number 39 Toyota Tundra, currently 5th on track. He's coming out with arguably the freshest set of tires on the circuit at this time, and this could be very, very interesting. If he has the short run pace combined with those fresh tires, you may see him flying by McCauley, Lee, Kors, and Ross. But all those drivers we just mentioned are absolute no strangers to fast and aggressive racing. We've got Craig Lowen hopping in, world famous Australian racer, joining us here today. So now it'll be McCauley and Lee on the front row, Kors and Ross your second row, and Johnson and Schoen your third row. As we've got live time and scoring pulled up on the left side of your screen to see where your favorite driver is at. And we're going to have a whole host of drivers back on the lead lap, 14 drivers after that pit cycle. And what could be the final restart of the night here at the FEG PC Truck Series Charlotte 100 event. We're about to have a short run throwdown. Because again, keep an eye on Johnson in that number 39 machine as the pace truck comes in. He is in the blue and yellow with a very fresh set of Goodyears. Now he's going to hopefully go green the rest of the way, as he does not want the other drivers a chance to get on the same strategy. And already we're racing hard. McCauley takes over the lead with Lee and Kors going side by side. Johnson has worked his way up into fourth around Chad Ross and Adam Schoen. As you're on board with McCauley, let's take it back to Michael J. Johnson, who now once again finds himself battling with Kors. But Johnson has the luxury here. He knows he has the freshest tires on the track. If we can just keep this green, he can charge hard. While Lee is putting the pressure aggressively on Cody McCauley, your race leader. Kors trying to get up there to help his teammate. Chad Ross has other plans, looks to the inside line of Kors and Johnson. Page returns back to pit road after some problems in his number one truck. So now it's McCauley, Lee, Johnson, Ross, and Kors, your top five. Ross gets around Kors. Johnson trying to catch up to Lee and McCauley, but he's about half second back. And those two drivers out front are linked up nose to tail. They're going to try and stretch their legs, maybe get just slightly ahead of Johnson, Ross, and Kors. Kors and Ross still side by side. As everybody inside the top three clicked off identical lap times. McCauley with a 30.36. Lee and Johnson both clicked off 30.37s. But Johnson starting to catch up to your race leaders. We got Jeffrey saying, could Chad Ross maybe have a chance of winning it if these top three, top four drivers get over aggressive? I gotta say, that's always a possibility. With 10 laps left to go their next time by, there's always the chance something wild happens here on a Monday evening at the FEG PC Truck Series. All these drivers know how to push hard, but our top three drivers, McCauley, Lee, and Johnson, are no strangers to winning here at this league. And they would all be, I think, content with a podium contention versus a wrecked truck that puts them back in the holler with only a few short laps left to go. We're going to have a three-truck rodeo up front. McCauley, Lee, and Johnson have hooked up nose to tail. Are we going to see these front bumpers come into play here at Charlotte, or will everybody play nicely? As these two drivers have about a 1.5 second advantage over Kors and Ross, who are still battling side by side. Here comes Johnson, look to the outside line on Lee. Lee throws a block. Kors and Ross spending too much time battling side by side. The top three drivers are going to break away here, as less than 2/10 separates our race leaders. This three-car pack just wants to get some breathing room and try and bring home some major results. Cody McCauley is your race leader. Johnson and Lee have a lot to gain if they can finish in front of that number 62 machine. Johnson up into second, looks to go for the lead here on the inside line of McCauley. Are the new tires paying off for that number 39 machine? He's going to have 8 laps to try and hold on to it. McCauley right on the bumper. He's going to go back to the inside line through the tri-oval into turns 1 and 2. This is where we're going to see if those new tires really pay off dividends as both drivers work in the side draft against each other. McCauley on the inside line. Johnson running the high line here, Charlotte, down the backstretch side by side. Matt Lee watching the show unfold from about 4 tenths back. Your race leaders are putting on a show here at Charlotte as Johnson still running the middle group. McCauley on the inside. Who's going to be the drag race out of 4? This could be indicative of what's going to happen towards the end of the night with only 6 laps left to go. Johnson has those 9-lap fresher tires to his advantage as he is now still just ever so slightly ahead of McCauley. McCauley holding onto the draft down the backstretch. With 6 laps left to go, will lap traffic come into play for our lead drivers here? Johnson stretching out his legs ever so slightly over McCauley and Lee. Coors has gained about 3 tenths over Chad Ross in the battle for 4th. As it looks like the field's starting to stretch out just so slightly up front. Chad Ross trying to catch back up to Jeremy Coors and put that number 38 machine up into 4th, but Adam Schoen may have other plans as well. And the number 65 machine, Schoen is your current hard charger on track, who is up 20 positions so far. What a wild night for everybody putting on a show. We're going to pan back to your racing with McCauley. He's about 3 tenths ahead of Matt Lee. Both drivers are on roughly the same tire strategy, except for Michael Johnson, who had a major great idea. He came in on lap 84 after stretching out his last pit stop on 36. Here comes lap traffic into play. Trying to quickly hop out of the way of your second place drivers. That's 28 Keaton Roach, a newer driver here at the FEG PC Truck Series, but having a great time, and now he's got a great front row seat for what could be the battle for second place between McCauley and Lee. 3 tenths separating these drivers. Johnson has a great night, and he is maybe able to win this on pit strategy here tonight, as he's got about a 6/10 advantage over Cody McCauley. McCauley still has Lee to worry about, but behind them it's 2.5 seconds back to Jeremy Coors in 4th. Coors has his own battle going on with Chad Ross. With 2 laps left to go, I think Michael Johnson may have pulled off a win here just on strategy alone. He risked it big, and it has played off massively. As right now in the closing laps, it is Toyota going 1, 2, and 3. Our fastest Ford is Jeremy Coors in 4th, and our fastest Chevy is in 5th, with Chad Ross behind the wheel. Michael J. Johnson will take the white flag this time by at Charlotte. Are we going to see Matt Lee catch up to McCauley and try and make something happen, as Johnson will be able to take away some of that points lead that McCauley has late into the season? That's going to tighten things up in our closing rounds in the coming weeks at Phoenix to decide who the champion is going to be. White flag flies. Michael J. Johnson on the way to another win here in the Truck Series. Is Lee going to get within striking distance to try and push that number 62 machine out of the way? The checkered flag will fly, and it will be Michael J. Johnson, Cody McCauley, and Matt Lee, our top 3. An absolute fantastic race from start to beginning here today. And Johnson with just an absolute massive play on strategy, able to win it here today. We're going to try and get our drivers up into the waiting room. And Michael J. Johnson's going to burn it down here at Charlotte, an absolute well-deserved win. After a massive play on strategy, probably one of the most brilliant calls I've ever seen. as we start getting our drivers up into the booth. Up first, we got Matthew Lee, the pilot of the 04 machine. Matt, great race. Probably not the finish you want, but you're consistently up on the podium, and you looked like you kept it very clean throughout the evening here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, where we were in points, we really didn't need to swing too hard for anything. So we just tried to keep the nose of the car clean, tried some stuff early on that kind of looked like it was going to work out, and cautions changed that. So uh, definitely take a third.
Now, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, but as we've been covering this series here for quite a long time now, and all the series that FEG PC puts on, and it seems to me that the racing keeps getting cleaner and cleaner, and the drivers are just getting quicker and quicker. Is that what you're feeling from the 04 machine as well?
We definitely started the season off strong with clean races and stuff. We've had a few silly races here with quite a few cautions that just kind of seem pointless, but the competition's definitely stepped up a lot from series past.
Well, good to see great racing out there. Always great to have the 04 up here in Victory Lane in any sort of capacity. A lot of fun watching you race hard out there. Now, Matt, before I let you sign off and celebrate, who would you like to give a shout out to or pay thanks to that's cheering you on this season?
Yeah, I definitely got to thank the guys at Martin Sports and anyone looking for some sim racing gloves, jerseys, anything like that. Check them out at martinsports906.com. Guys at Shenandoah Shine, McConey Setup Shop, all the guys at Lunatic Racing. You guys are putting this on. A lot of fun to be in these, and you definitely get better every time.
Well, Matt, always a great time talking to you, man. Congratulations on the third, and looking forward to seeing how you run in the coming Phoenix rounds.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you, my friend. Up next, we've got Cody McCauley driving the number 62 machine. Cody, looked like it was a roller coaster of a night, kind of getting stuck in tough spots with the cautions and up and down the leaderboard, but able to bring home a very hard-fought second after a great showing with Lee. I mean, is this how you expected tonight to go, or are you worried at all that the points may be tightening up a little bit on you late in the season?
No, man. This is about how we expected tonight to go. I figured it'd be a top three car with Matt T and Michael Johnson. Seems to be one of us three up front every week. So no reason Charlotte should be any different. We just we really kind of got dug into a hole with a little bit of damage there, racing in traffic, and was able to climb back out, drive up back to the front. Just made an absolute crazy drive back to the top, and got really good in and off pit road, and was able to come out with a lead, pretty decent lead, was kind of saving our stuff, letting Matt kind of get close to us and thinking that we're going to ride these next 10 and take home a win. And Michael had something left in the tank whenever the caution come out. So congrats to him, man. That was an awesome race he ran. Really and truly the smartest probably call that I think anybody made all night. Also Matt T, we run really hard there. I enjoy races like that. But no, solid night for us. Can't complain about a P2. Wish it was a P1, but we'll take the momentum and go off into Phoenix for the championship.
Yeah, a lot of fun watching all the fast guys in the top 3, top 5, top 10. Put on a great show for our fans at home. Now, Cody, we've got 2 rounds coming up at Phoenix, the new and improved Phoenix. What are your thoughts going into these final weeks? Is that a track you guys are pretty comfortable at, or what's the sentiment going into those rounds?
Really excited. Always been a really big fan of Phoenix whenever it was the old track, and then now with the new surface, it seems even more racier. So I think we'll be able to come in there, put on a really good show, and it ought to come down to the 3 of us again for the championship.
Well, I know I'm looking forward to it as well as our fans at home. Cody, before we let you sign off, who would you like to give a shout out to?
Man, shout out 62 Designs. Right over at 62 Designs Racing. Carl back on the box again tonight. Did a great job calling from the pits and the stands. All the teammates helping us get through traffic there. Those guys had a great night. Kale had a solid finish, 13th. He ended up a set of tires short somehow. So really proud of him. John had a good night all night. Was kind of hanging out. Delta 9. You guys go check them out on Instagram. Delta 9 PA. Like I said, just all you guys here for putting on the broadcast, and Jeff for putting this whole deal together.
Well, Cody, always a pleasure, man. Hope to see you do well in the coming rounds. And as always, thank you for your time and great run out there in the 62 machine.
Thanks, bud.
And up next, the man of the hour, Michael Johnson, bringing it home in the top spot with maybe the wildest and best pit decision I think we have ever seen in the FEG PC Truck Series.
Yeah, we got a little lucky there.
Now, Michael, how bad were you sweating after that lap 36, I believe it was, pit stop? And it looked like we were finally going to go green all the way through, and drivers were slowly getting back on the lead lap. Were you worried that things were going to go real poorly, or were you just extremely thankful once that caution finally came out?
Yeah, I was pretty thankful after that last caution came out because I was going to be in the back if we didn't get that last one. But knew with the points cushion I had there, I didn't have to worry about the top four for next week. So I was just gambling and hoping for a caution and get those fresh tires and go for a win.
Now, Michael, things are going to get a little bit tighter in the points chase. You took away some ground that McCauley had. How do you think things are going to shake up for the championship? I mean, it looks to be anybody's guess still. I mean, we've got you, McCauley, Lee, I believe Bailey also in the mix here. So this is going to be really, really wild in the closing rounds at Phoenix.
Yeah, it'll be a good race next week. Looking forward to it, especially with the new track layout. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, Michael, it's been a lot of fun watching you all season, making that McConey setup shop back number 39 machine quick week in and week out. And I know you've had a fantastic season. I mean, really all the segments we've seen in the broadcast, a lot of fun to watch. Before we let you sign off, who would you like to give a shout out to? Say thanks, fans, family, friends, sponsors. The floor is all yours, my friend.
Yeah, McConaughey set up shop. They're on board this season for us, and then all the guys at Keeping It Real Esports.
So awesome, Michael. Congratulations. Good to have you back in the top spot, and hope to see you carry that success forward to next week at Phoenix.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, my friend. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to do it here for the FEG PC Truck Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It was a lot of fun, a lot of big crashes, but at the end it was Michael J. Johnson able to put on the top spot after a fantastic play with pit strategy. Cody McCauley gets second. Matt Lee rounds out our podium. As always, on behalf of FEGPC.net, as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everyone.